Welcome back. We are still on Tangawizi at 1. It's been 12 amazing months. And we are here again, once again, to reflect on what you had to say and also get a glimpse of what conversations spoke to us personally. Yes.
I feel like we got a lot of feedback on some episodes. Really like garnered a lot of feedback and a lot of thought, and we saw that Kenyans love anytime we talk about relationships, men, women, dating, love. Kenyans are like, yes, give us more of that, more of that type of content. So there's a lot of comments. So I'm just gonna read some comments that we had. From some of our viewers. I'm not going to say their names.
Don't have to. Yeah, but maybe I can safely set the pace for you by one comment that was very specific to me. I will never forget that comment. This person just said, well, unaongeanga mingi. You know, and me, I like direct feedback. So, nilichukua tu poa. Na nikamwambia tu hapo chini ni maumbile. I'm very aware that I am overly chatty. But see at niko defensive. Ni kitu also I consciously try to reduce myself in some spaces because I know I really love to talk. But then I don't want to always be the one who is talking. Yeah, I'm also aware that there are some spaces where I need to not.
But I'm like, I don't today comment. Okay, this is a podcast where people talk. So I'm just like, bruh.
Mi nilikubali feedback yangu na nina kierehere nilikubali. And I am working on it.
I feel like just the comments, they build your skin, you know. You kind of learn how to like detach from people's thoughts and opinions. Because also we received some really good feedback. Some feedback that we can think about. And then some were just silly and we laughed and we read and laugh. And we continue with our lives. There's a comment, someone just sharing their experience on one of the topics that we were talking about. And I think the conversation really was about the earning power of men and the way like it's not in their 20s. As they age, their earning power now becomes better. But this person had a different opinion or thought on it, and he was just giving his story. And he said, I married my wife when I was 25 years old. I was earning 8,400 bob and doing my master's then. She loved me then, and more than 15 years later, we are still together. I have a PhD, built her a wonderful home. We have cars, plots, and importantly, children. Importantly for him, children. I also took her to school, paid for her degree, and she's now working. It worked for us. And that's why for me, if you were not there when I had nothing, you don't deserve me at my best.
I mean, perspective, his lived experience. Yeah, it's his experience. Wow. And thank you so much for being that vulnerable to share with us. We don't know that person. We've never met them.
Exactly.
You know, and this is what Tangawizi is about.
And I was so happy because sometimes we don't get so many men who are willing to like say that they're proud of who they partnered up with and, you know, how they built that life together. So I think I can say their name. This is Dr. Patrick Otieno, and he shared that experience with us. And thank you so much for adding to our conversation on that. You can read us another one.
So for me, I think the one that really stuck to me was when we were looking at the different generations. And I mean, we had some of the people actually say that indeed we have been programmed to think the way it is. And we probed to ask, you know, how is it now? And the person actually engaged further and said they're in their 30s. Wananiita Gen Z ofisini sababu nimekataa kukaliwa. So meaning that actually the similarities that we keep saying across generations, that some of those values are embedded across still, you know.
It goes really
and
across.
This person is standing on business and saying no to oppression. You know?
There's another comment. This one, the context is someone, actually not someone, let's just say it was Drake who talked about relationships and men and dating and all of that. And he was talking about don't marry a mama's boy or something of that nature. And this is a comment that someone had to say, like in rebuttal. Establishing healthy boundaries with parents is essential for any successful relationship. you can't dismiss men simply because they have a close relationship with their mothers, assuming that means they lack independence. Labeling people as mama's boys or daddy's girls doesn't solve the underlying issue. Instead, we should focus on teaching individuals how to set and maintain boundaries with their parents, boundaries that allow for a strong romantic relationship without unnecessary interference. I love this feedback because this person has added another layer. Yeah, that maybe it's not a mama's boy, daddy's boy issue. Maybe we just need to talk about boundaries and how to set clear boundaries even as we're navigating different relationships.
Wow, and how we just shouldn't settle with the, these titles that, are there through the experiences we have with our parents and things like that. Wow. I would love us to see how best to
do that.
To do more
right?
on that, really.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. It sparked some curiosity.
To add to that one, there's another one that said, kuwa mwanaume ukikosa pesa hata mama yako atakupenda. It was very polarizing. Like people just had very different takes, which we appreciated.
Yeah. So we move on to this other person who actually there were a lot of comments during and of course across all the other episodes, but on Pablo's episode there were quite a lot, and the one that really stuck with me was this person who said, I pray that my kids will always find a safe space home and are able to confide in us if they are confused about.
I love that.
Like as a parent, I'm assuming, or if they are, or if they aspire to be, they were just validating their position, to be that anchor, in this very confusing world.
Indeed. Yeah. And that one was, I think I also have another comment on Pablo's episode as well. And this person says, yes, my dad always tells us, hata ukisikia tu Nairobi na kupatia stress kidogo, panda gari, come home. If you don't have fare, I'll send it to you. And he wishes the father well. And I think it was so wholesome.
Like when you go around life, yes, kuna challenges, but unajua, you have your people, they care about you, and you can always anchor on them.
Exactly.
So much that is needed, that is what we need now.
Especially like no matter the age.
Yeah.
Appreciated that.
Sasa hawa wengine hapa walisema tu. And I think it's Engineer Fatma who continues to comment on all. We thank you, Engineer Fatma.
We see you.
And then in this one, she says, the way they keep hitting us with harsh truths, left, right, and center, Acha too. We thank you for being our avid supporter and really keeping the conversations going. Yeah. I got more. And TikTok was on fire.
TikTok is always on fire.
TikTok was on fire. And particularly when we had the topic on relationships, as we had said earlier. And I think for me, it was also quite interesting to see how social media is being used as a tool for just, I wouldn't say, I don't know, like people are quick to just say some things and not think about what does this really mean? What culture is this promoting? What is it saying about how we view each other? Because I almost thought all the focus was going to be on us on set. But in that episode, even the crew, who is never seen, was attacked,
was
receiving feedback, and it was quite interesting to see. But also that we saw a lot of movement from people from TikTok to actually YouTube. You're coming to say, I came all the way from YouTube to come and get, the depth of how this conversation would go or would flow.
Exactly. Yeah. So that was also very interesting. Actually, it's an interesting point. We get to experience what Kenyans view as important and their view on different issues, and the cultures. One thing I'd like to highlight is, even with Paulette's episode, I don't know if I've said this before, but I felt like there was a lot of focus on her as a young girl, knowing what to do, that she should know. But the reality of us women, as young girls, not everyone knows that that's how the world perceives.
And
young
even as
girls.
young men, not even as a young man, you wouldn't know.
wouldn't
You're
know.
not a know-it-all as a young person. That's why we seek knowledge, we seek information. So it was tricky to see that.
Very tricky.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think we have just kept the very condescending ones away from
Like a lens.
this energy for now.
Yeah.
And maybe we will unpack them at a later time and see how best to support these perspectives. But it was also good to see that people had their own position, which is allowed. And we welcome everyone to this platform. And at this point, you can even choose to move from a follower to a contributor.
Right?
Yeah.
Because you're contributing either way.
You are. So please reach out to us. It was good to know that, we have a lot of support from our male counterparts who are sitting and engaging with our conversation. It was good to know that we also have women. It was good to know that we have other nationalities.
Yeah.
We have, of course, majority being Kenyans. We have Americans that are listening to us. We have South Africans that are also listening to us, and individuals from other African nations. So it was really good. It was really good to know.
I think I saw a comment by another South African like, "Hey, I'm really enjoying your accents."
Yeah, and thank God to this platform, I got to appreciate my accent. I was just like, East Africans, we don't have.
We don't have
Kenyans.
we do have an accent.
We do have, yeah. I think now we can
accent.
move to, what are those conversations that you felt that spoke to you?
That's
in no specific order.
In no specific order.
You're like, hey!
And it was personal, and the message was just for me.
Like, hey, surely.
Yeah. I'm gonna start with Sydney's episode and just how impactful that episode was for me. Because I think the thing about this podcast, when you're shooting with people, you get to experience them. And also you get to experience them energetically as well. And I really appreciated just experiencing him as a person who has, I think he's in his 50s.
Yes, he's in over 50s.
Over 50s.
He is from the Caribbean. He's from Jamaica. Repatriated
back to Africa.
Living in Ethiopia.
And number one, I enjoyed his perspectives on life, and also the way he doesn't view life as a straight, narrow path. So I really appreciated his presence at the podcast and his sharings, especially on spirituality as well, and how that has impacted his life and his choices, even as someone who's lived outside of his country and out of where he considers home, and how that aspect of him led him to home, to Africa. So he shares a very interesting story of how God spoke to him. And to me, it highlighted to my heart that God will speak to you in the way that you can understand and the way you can receive. Yeah, because a lot of us want to see angels, but can you receive an angel without?
And who told you that's the formula of how God speaks to you? Who would speak to you? Yeah,
exactly.
Ooh, and his music for me. I mean, I have had him play before, but him playing on the set, it was such the emotions were so raw. Like it was so humbling. It was almost like a spiritual moment.
Yes,
and
yes.
even the message, Africa is our home. And if it is our home, then we must love it enough to make it a very safe home. Yeah,
and I think
I see why.
Even his sharings, because I remember during the set, I asked him, because he didn't have his hat on. So I remember asking, "Oh, you don't have to put your hat on." Then he's like, "Actually, I do."
Yeah, because that's his identity.
Exactly. And he was like, because it means something.
Yes.
Yeah, he just doesn't wear it because it's cool to wear. Yeah, to him, there's a message he wants to communicate. And to me, that message was unity. So I feel like the unifying aspect of Africans, us coming together, loving each other, nurturing this Africa that we have, this one Africa, appreciating ourselves. So to me, that was very, very impactful as well. And also his moments of just sharing, those people who have a good word for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's very open. Like he will make sure he shares a word with you.
Wow.
Yeah. So it felt very spiritual as well. I feel like those are some of the things that came out that we didn't anticipate would come out.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
for me, without any particular order, Jamari's session, the one on sports. Yeah, it did speak to me. And maybe it's because my daughter is interested in sports. And then she gave me a perspective of looking at the sports ecosystem as an opportunity for growth for young people, but also as a place that, if not well looked into, can be a breeding ground for oppression, abuse, and all those things. Like, I was like, we need to do so much. We need to do so much because that platform is making young people become resilient, continue to discover themselves, pursue opportunities, that come within or without the sports ecosystem. But also, if we are not making people accountable,
it can be a space whereby a lot of things can go wrong.
Yeah, a lot of lives can be changed for the worst. So we need to.
And I feel
as
like
we celebrate the sports women and men, we really need to take care of them.
And even lost opportunities.
Yeah.
Because talent is, because to get to that level, clearly there's talent. So what can we achieve with that talent if we're not sidelined by all these unnecessary issues?
Correct. And that we should put our sportsmen and women at the center. Always. Yeah. So for me, that really did speak to me and motivate me to continue with the work around, people that are within the system. Yeah.
Awesome. Wow. For me, I think another episode that really spoke to me was Pablo's episode. Because of just how it was not expected that is what that episode would end up being. And the things that I learned, and the vulnerability that also came out. And to me, it's refreshing to have a man who's vulnerable, a man who at his age can be vulnerable. Because a lot of people want to say this is a new age type of thing that we're trying to push on to men, vulnerability. But to have him at his age be vulnerable and to share so openly, not things that we would clap for him, but things that you could clearly see that these are things that mean a lot to him and deeply affect him, and to just share openly and to allow other men to see that. I think that was beautiful, and inspiring at the same time. And it allowed me to know, like, Drusilla, you can start at any point. By the way, never give up on reinventing yourself. Yeah, like, and there's nothing in life that is just always gonna go up. It's always gonna be up and like it's just
a roller coaster. Yeah,
it's a roller coaster. It's just what you do in those low moments that determines how far back up you can go. And I feel like that was a very timely message for a lot of people, for a lot of men as well. And also it made me question how I see men and who they are to me. Yeah, are men my bankrollers?
Food for thought. Yeah. I think that for me, the other one that did speak to me personally was the one on sexual health by Dr. Joachim Osur. And that it also challenged me set-wise. We were supposed to do it together, and then life happened. And I'm like, this topic is huge. This topic has elements that are very uncomfortable. Like, okay, I needed you on that set.
Damn
girl. Please.
Damn girl.
Yeah. But I mean, the amazing crew did provide warmth. I mean, not in ways that I wanted, but they did.
Thank you, crew.
And Dr. Osur just gave us the hard truths, from him as a person, as a professional sexologist. He runs a whole clinic alongside being the vice chancellor of Amref University. So this is his staff, and he was telling us how sexual health is important, and it's the most sidelined. Hard truths like, when you have 10 people, 3 out of those 10 have sexual health issues. You know, they would show up and don't even know how to navigate even sexual pleasure. He just went out there to talk about how sexual orientation and how, you know, parents are struggling to reconcile, you know, around the reality that their children could be attracted to same sex and how they want to, to do the convulsion therapies. And I mean, it was just quite a lot. And that it's given so little prominence in society. Yeah, so I was like, there's a lot of work there.
I like how Prof talked about that topic because it felt safe.
Very.
Yeah. And also when we talk about sexual health, people think we're just coming to talk about what goes wrong. You know. You know, the things that go wrong in that, you know, like by being a sexually active person, but also to also center like sexual pleasure and be like, it's actually an important part of life. So how can we even do it in healthy ways? How can we take care of ourselves in those ways? So yeah, you should watch that episode.
Yeah.
It's not gonna traumatize you.
Do you have another one in the bag?
Yes. I do have this is Drake's episode. Yeah, I feel like Drake is a bit of a realist.
Yeah, I couldn't believe during that episode.
He just says it as it is. Yeah. And it allowed me to also view men not in a feminine way, but in a very masculine way, in the sense that what would work for me as a woman in terms of learning, in terms of mentorship, is not the same that would work for a man. Yeah, the lesson can be the same, but the methodology is very different. You can teach the same things, you know, on identity and values, but how you go about it cannot be the same way. So to me, that made me think about it in this way, like the judgment that I have about men, and my thoughts about them, and why are they just not learning this as quick as they should, you know? Then I realized, actually, Drusilla, it's not my place to teach them. Because there's a way I can teach them and the message will not get through. But there's a way that another man can come and teach them and the message will land. So to me, it just highlighted that it is important that men learn from men. And we do not benefit when good men are quiet.
Wow, I like that.
Yeah, like, you know me, I'm a good man.
And you keep it to yourself.
Then uplift another
others.
young man.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, don't just be a good man in your corner of the world.
I think another good man that came on set and spoke directly to me was Derek.
I love that episode.
Yes, Derek came on saying, I'm a young African man from Ghana who moved to Germany. He still does reside in Germany to study, and then life has happened. That's his home now. And, you know, he was like, this is how I show up, unapologetic. I have decided to change the narrative that Africa is me, as I am, representing all the Africans. Where I am now, I am an African that is professional, shows up on time, is innovative. It was
excellent.
You know, exumes excellence. And right now he's also doing storytelling on, you know, he has launched his podcast actually.
That.
Level Up podcast. And he is really doing a good job on that. Yeah.
I love that. I really like that episode because those are the good men. Yeah. I was like, now that's a good man who can teach us something. And I love that he's started his own podcast to bring other
more
people.
Good men.
Exactly.
Yeah. Level up with
That's
him.
all level up. Yeah.
And level up men, level up women,
exactly.
Level up everybody. Yeah.
Esther was also a really great guest because we got to talk about the femininity, what feminism means to us. And this is
you ruffled a lot of feathers on that one.
Yeah. Because one thing I learned is, even just because Esther talked about the feminism aspect of it, Drake, Abu, who else talked about men?
Pablo
also talked about men. Yes. It made me appreciate both sides because it made me realize you have to make space for both perspectives. Yeah. And people understand these things very differently. And Esther was able to bring out like the gender, and we can't speak about these issues without talking about gender, because every lived experience is different and we need to make space for each. So she was able to shed light on being a woman, what it looks like, what it means, and some of the challenges that women are going through, and some of the expectations that women have, and some of the things that need to be done right, so that women can also keep moving further up. And this idea that now women have been empowered enough. First of all, even that word empowered, because it insinuates that this person doesn't have agency and power by themselves. They don't need to be empowered. They just need an environment that they're allowed to just and thrive and access opportunities at the level that every other person is accessing.
Yeah, well, that one made a lot of people very uncomfortable, right? Yeah, which means it's a much needed conversation, and we hope to see how we can continue having
it.
such.
Yeah.
I think the other one for me that really challenged how I use my voice was Courier's one, when he just said, you see, you can't just sit on the sideline. It's not possible.
Yeah.
If you're not motivated to speak up when others are oppressed, you can't just go to bed. And that you can use anything, any innovation, any formula, to raise your voice and add your voice to when things, are not going as is, or when there's, oppression. And that has continued to inspire me to this day. Like, I am unapologetically raising my voice, and I'm not, I really don't care. I will just raise my voice. So it did challenge me not to raise my voice silent, but to raise my voice
boldly. Yeah, I think it just affirmed, Korea's episode affirmed for me that my voice actually matters. Yeah, and if you don't speak up now, when you're in the comfort of wherever you are, you will have to speak up when that thing that you refuse to speak up about brings discomfort right at your doorstep.
Yeah.
So it's better you speak up now, when things can change. So really,
and
it
you
was
can't
really
do it
good.
selectively. You
No.
can't raise your voice selectively.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Finally.
I don't think I have another person in mind. Yeah.
Okay. I think that was a beautiful reflection.
Yeah.
That was a beautiful reflection. And just to say that even as we are putting these stories together, it's not just for those that are listening to us, but it's also is adding value to our own lives personally, and our careers, our relationships, and our worldview as well. So as much as on set we are looking like we are all, okay. We are struggling to breathe. We are sweating secretly. And most importantly, we are learning.
Yes.
And that's the platform that we seek to continue building.
Because, what would this be if it didn't challenge us first? Yeah. I am very excited for the next chapter of Tangawizi, the next episodes that we're gonna put out, and how that is gonna look like. And we hope for more engagement, more conversations, more conversations with the people that are interacting with our content, like more in person type of thing. Like that's. I feel like that's really what I would envision this podcast to like grow into.
Yeah, and we'll be looking forward to see you in our first in-person convening.
Yes.
Yeah, we will get the information out so that we can also gather, see each other eyeball to eyeball.
And talk, like center the issues and have conversations.
Yeah.
That'll be exciting.
And we are also proud of you for being part of the journey. As we are saying congratulations to us, the platform, and everyone who's behind us.
Yeah.
We are also congratulating you for allowing us to just, take a bit of space in your brain, on your screen, and hopefully in your life. And congratulations, you too.
As we're congratulating and thanking, we also cannot forget to thank the people who get to experience this content live in person before every other person experiences it. So they've really been very supportive, the good company, and we feel like this is our community and safe space to be able to keep putting out really good content.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Yeah, and welcome to the next contributors. So if you want to come on, you just talk to us in any of our platforms, and there's room, literally. Yeah.
Can't say those things you're saying.
Yeah. We want you to say them here. Anyway, no pressure, and it's Tangawizi at 1. Tangawizi at 1. Thank you so much for being with us and continuing to journey with us.
Thank you.